Right, so let's go to SABC News reporter now, as we promised, Khayelihle Khumalo, who's at the British High Commission in Pretoria on the passing of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II and the proclamation of Britain's King Charles III. Khayelihle, good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. How has the UK High Commission reacted, first of all, to the Queen's passing?
Well, absolutely, Criselda. So it's been really met with a sense of grief and really an outpouring of sadness as well. So the very statement that has been issued by the High Commissioner really paints a very painful chapter in terms of what has transpired. But also we do know that there was a very strong emphasis as well in terms of the attachment of the late Queen with South Africa, Criselda. You go back to that very profound message that she gave in Cape Town in the early 40s, where she spoke about devoting her life, whether it's long or short, to the nation, the British nation, the Commonwealth as well. So in the statement by the High Commissioner here in South Africa, that also was quite clear. But also apart from that, also reflecting on the legacy of the Queen as well, having reigned for 70 years, one of the longest serving reigning monarch in the British history. But also just speaking about the very importance now in terms of the new chapter for the UK and the Commonwealth with the new King Charles III.
Khayelihle, obviously, with the proclamation, which we understand from our colleague Trent Murray, who we just spoke to a few moments ago, the proclamation will take place, but this obviously means that there's quite a lot now which will be on his shoulders. He'll be facing a lot, even in the midst of this mourning period that is taking place. Clearly, the decorum at which this proclamation will take place would need to be fitting of also the mourning period, which is still underway at this particular time. Talk to us a bit about the, what faces King Charles now going forward.
Well, Criselda, quite a very monumental task that the King, the British King, will face. I mean, first and foremost, you look at the economic challenges facing the UK. You know that with the Russian and Ukraine war, so now the issue of energy in the Northern Hemisphere, and, by and large, in most parts of the world, it is a topical issue. So the UK is certainly going to feel the pinch. We know that the winter season is, of course, in the offing, but also you look at other challenges as well. You do have some people in the UK who do talk about, is it still relevant to have a monarch in this particular point in time when you're talking about the expenditure and many other things, especially also, Criselda, in the Commonwealth as well, where there has been a Republican sentiment. We saw in 2021, Barbados, they cut off ties with the British monarch, where they had their own republic. So it's going to be quite a very big task that lies ahead for the King.
And let's talk about reaction from here in South Africa, taking a look at what's been happening on social media. Talk us through some of what is being said, in remembrance of the late Queen.
Well, certainly, quite a very mixed reaction, Criselda. You do have South Africans who are quite mourning, who are so hurt by the passing of the Queen. But obviously, given the very legacy of colonialism and many other challenges, you look at slavery, among other things. And it's quite interesting, Criselda, because in the recent Commonwealth gathering in Rwanda this year, we saw now King Charles III, of course, just expressing the sentiment to the effect that as much as we do have the Commonwealth, but we do know that it's really anchored in the very terrible past of slavery and many other issues around, issues around imperialism and all of that. So something that was quite significant. So for some South Africans as well, they do have the fondest memories. We do know that the Queen hosted quite a number of South African leaders. You go back to that moment when the late former President Nelson Mandela went to the UK with the States dinners as well for so many leaders. So it's quite a very interesting reaction that you get from South Africa.
Khayelihle, thank you very much indeed.